And a very nice change of pace, especially after watching Longdeath VODs all day, every day. How long have you been watching Longdeath VODs for? Time to start day 10. Cheers. Like, how long have you been watching the Longdeath VODs for? Have I even gotten through the Mudstone by day 10? Isn't that kind of the point that it takes forever? I mean, kind of, yeah. I think it's good to keep with adventure mode. Well, I think adventure mode is going to be a lot cooler once the Steam version launches, because I have a feeling that, I don't know, I have this weird feeling that the Steam version is going to make adventure mode become more heavily played, but it's hard to say. It's hard to say. Anyway, Absolute Realm, year 174, aka year 169 of the Fortress. Let's dive in. Longdeath. What is the greatest era of Longdeath, by the way? Oh boy, just finished digging the platform. Yeah, no, that's a long way. Okay, so I've got a few dwarves that need to be fixed. We've got Clay. Ragswolf just grew up and matured, but I've got a few that are super stressed out. I've got Lord Floof. Lord Floof is actually doing a bit better-ish. Lord Floof hasn't tantrumed in a while and has mostly just been watching these demonstrations, which has been helping quite a bit. And then I've got Clay. Clay is the potential problem. And I really don't want to lose Brick of Clay because this dwarf is really nice. So I'm just kind of like letting them do their thing. Just kind of hoping that they work towards improving. All of the dwarves that are alive in the Horde Hatries are Eternal, Apostle, Peter II, Axon, Sparkly 4K, Trash Battery, Swoos, Chimp, Danny UG, The Scoid, Abe Exendi, Narvicious, Lord Floof, Clay, Vinsati II, Beleg II, Taurus II, Vuzel, Pablo, Dragonman, Sui, Crystal Rose, Eve, Gimper II, Black Hole, Smash T, Cade, Anton Iceland, Therese, Mad High Drinks, Cheers Jamie, Simplex, Dreadvic, Bastet II, Hazard Jeff, Diamond Destruct, Paranoid Android, Danks, Ragswolf, Demonoid, Orson Frakes, Dark Skynet, and, of course, Itty Bitty Goliath. If you would like me to check in on your dwarf and you just heard your name get called, give me a shout. I hope so, yeah. I mean, that's what I'm hoping people will do with Longdeath. I want to, what was your master skill? Most dwarves of your age will have multiple. But I can tell you. You're a legendary miner, a legendary leather worker, but you're a little rusty. You're a talented comedian, apparently. You're hilarious, Diamond. You're a skilled speaker, but very rusty. I mean, you know you could do that in DF, right? You can turn on auto labor, Mirthsoft, and you can also turn on basically in-game AI. So how's adventuring go? If you want to see how adventuring went, I have a doc. It's right here. But the adventure went well. We wrote some poems. We ran away from zombies. We visited a few locations, including one of my old forts. We watched a dwarf get murdered by capybaras. It was good, you know. Like my giant jaguar mount murdered a few things, and that was good. It was fun. How's your dwarf? Is your squad still going? Yes, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, the squads don't really get retired, but are you still in a squad? You are no longer in a squad. I removed you from the squad. No, you're just a scholar these days. You're 17 years old. Your dwarf is weird. You get kind of moody at times. Although I should put you into the Eternal Hammer, which isn't currently training, so that's fine. Yeah, you need a break. You need some time to just chill and spend time with family and relax, I think, is what you really need. Actually, hold on. Let's see if it's live right now. Saysied is not live, damn it. So there's a Twitch channel called Saysied. Saysied? Anyway, which literally just runs a 24/7 lo-fi and chill with dwarves doing their thing stream. So Lord Floof. Hey, Lord Floof. And no problem, Diamond. But yeah, no, Lord Floof is probably the biggest problem, Dwarf, right now. The problem is we're working on these mega projects, right? And because we don't have that many dwarves, if I make them construct stuff for like a year straight, they get kind of annoyed. They're not super thrilled about this. You're gonna go beat up a chicken. You did go punch a chicken. I mean, sometimes you just gotta punch a cock, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you just gotta go punch a cock. I don't even think anybody saw that. That's a pretty good fight to pick, if anything. Yeah, and then go get food. You know, I'm actually going to deconstruct these tables in these basement suites. I like having these basement suites, but I find that dwarves prioritize eating in them above the tavern. And while I think it's really fun having these, I think that they actually are causing problems. So I'm going to remove these because I want the dwarves to eat in the public spaces instead of in these basement suites. I've been noticing it more and more recently. They're prioritizing eating in here instead of the tavern, which isn't good. You just going to go and socialize? I thought you were going to go pray or something. There you go. That's what you need to do. I mean, if you do snap, please punch that statue and become a vampire, and then we can have some fun with you. Social distancing? All of these dwarves social distance. Dwarves are very good at that. That's why they never have any friends. Dwarf, are you okay? Right there. Belug, are you alright? I forbid your cheese. There you go. That solved the problem. Couldn't figure out what table to go eat at. You know, maybe instead of what we currently have, we should do... what's a metal material I have a lot of? That's also, like, kind of fancy. Bronze I have a decent amount of. Black bronze I have quite a bit of. But I was also using that for things. Music seems a little loud. I'm gonna turn that down a bit. Could just go with silver. Let's go with silver. $40 silver statues. Just of anything. Nothing particular. We're just going to go with silver. Silver seems like a solid material to use for this sort of thing. I mean, we're going to need tables and stuff to furnish this upper area up here eventually. Once we're done working on this. Because this is what's been stressing my dwarves out. This project. Specifically this roof bit is what caused the stress amplification. So... Like, you just want to practice a craft. You're getting no positive thoughts out of praying. Although you are enraptured after communing. This dwarf's frustrating because this dwarf, for a really long time, the only thing they wanted to do was train. It's the only thing that could keep them happy was training. And then they started getting upset while training too. So that kind of sucks. But comes with this version of the game. I'm getting my secondary squad training again. Let's see if this helps Clay a bit better now. Was euphoric due to inebriation, though. Going to combat training yet is walking in the wrong direction. What? I'm missing something here. Are you going to go finish off the chicken that you were killing earlier? What are you doing? Chickens don't need to graze. Yeah, so you can definitely just like let chickens do what chickens want to do. Combat training by punching chickens. Yeah, like I said, sometimes you just gotta punch a cock in the face. You know, combat training's down here, right? Like all your students are already there. They're not waiting for them. And they're all upset. They want to train. They're bored doing nothing. While Clay's doing stuff. Something. Ah. You're going to go complain to somebody in charge, which is fair. This dwarf's very much taking this scenic route. Jesus. I mean, he punched a rooster. That's all he did was punch a rooster. Quite literally. You have one job, and it's go there and train. To make sure the cock wouldn't squeal. That's a stressful sentence to say out loud. So, Cooler, are you proud of me that I'm finally playing Dwarf Fortress in adventure mode? It is your favorite mode of play, after all. Cooler's got quite the history with a specific spider adventurer that he doodled once. Told us about some of the stories that adventurer went on, and it's quite extensive. Also, Cooler's in my chat. Does that mean that you guys are finally, like, cooling off with Valheim, or are you still, like, deep in the Valheim hole? I actually am using your beautiful thumbnail that you drew for me that I literally have never used, which is the oh, what's it called? Why am I blanking on the name of it now? The adventure mode thumbnail. All right. Clay finally made it to the job. See, satisfied when teaching dodging, like, is enjoying this bit, and they're all happy about this. The part where they're learning things. They're all enjoying this. I'm not gonna read that sentence out loud because I don't want anybody to clip it, Diamond. Also, if anybody wants another screen of Dwarf Fortress to watch, Diamond is streaming their game as well. So you could have more DF. See? Streaming DF while watching someone else play DF. There you go. Contact went out? Oh, you mean like your internet went out? I mean, what'd you miss? Not much. Just watching my very stressed out military teacher teach my dwarves. Just that. How are you guys liking Valheim? Cooler. I straight up, a friend of mine who I play games with every Friday, like, reached out to me and said, so I'm not going to play games with you for a bit. I was like, why? And he's like, I'm going to be playing Valheim for the next 6 months. I'm like, well, okay. Okay, fine, man. It's just kind of funny. Well, these dwarves are all enjoying learning about combat. Felt wonder communing with the Embraced Roses and interested after learning about striking. The Embraced Roses is the god of lust. Also, I didn't say my cock, I said punch a cock. It's like a nondescript. It's may or may not be someone else's. Also, at some point today, I'm expecting some stuff from Amazon, so I'm going to have to jump up at some point today and go pick up a package, potentially, depending on how late it arrives. If it arrives late, then I don't need to worry so much. The god of lust and punching cocks, and... Although punching cocks, to me, just... It sounds like the Buzzcocks or something. And to me, it just sounds like a punk rock band, or like punching cocks to me just sounds like a Celtic punk rock band. Like, and I could see their logo too. It'd be like a funky looking cartoon fist and like someone holding a chicken and just going thonk into the chicken. Like I could totally see it. They probably put rubber chickens on the ends of their guitars. Might move them inside for protection, depending on how crazy it is. Although they might also be a good, like, whistleblower. Sometimes it's nice to have an animal outside or two, so that when a were creature spawns, they notify you of it when it's further away. So I live in an apartment building, so I can't just open my door and there will be a package there, because they have to get into my building, and they don't have access codes for my building. Whereas... Canada Post does. So if Canada Post delivers a package, they'll just leave it in front of my door and knock. Whereas the Amazon delivery people don't. So they usually call me. Dispatch calls me when there's a package outside, because I have to physically go outside and get it. At which point I'm very nice and polite and thank the delivery person, because I feel fucking terrible for those poor people. Which I think is generally pretty apt. So, Clay, what's some things that you like? You like brass. I'm going to make them out, or make them for clay. And they're going to go into this training area. See, like, you can't leave packages by a door in this apartment building, because in order for them to get into the apartment building, they have to summon the owner of, or the person that the package is going to. I guess in theory, if I were to let the Amazon guy into the building, then he could do that. But usually they don't do that. They'll just call the next person. Like usually when I pick up a package from the Amazon guy at the front door, he'll have like 2 or 3 more, and he'll be like, yeah, no, I'm just calling dispatch for the rest of them. And then if they can't get in contact with you, then they go leave it at the nearest drop-off point. And the nearest drop-off point for me is 2 blocks away. So it's pretty close, which is literally just like a big old locker that's outside. And you get sent a passcode. You go up to the passcode, you punch in the passcode, and a locker unlocks, and then you go open it up. It's like a 16-digit code that you have to punch in. I've got my cock puncher logo and off topic. Oh no. Oh no. What have I done? Yeah, no. Yeah, this checks out. Also, Peter, those are some beautiful roads you got there. Apparently a Jupiter Hell hotfix patch dropped. Supposedly. Just having a quick peek. Apparently the game could crash if you picked up a helmet, which is fixed. Next release will probably drop at the end of the month. Okay. Okay, he's actually not purple anymore, so that's actually an improvement already on Clay. Until a smartass knows how to code. Wait, what? I mean, sure, but I'd rather, like, you know, walk up the street to a public space and punch in an access code that's, you know, has cameras pointed at it and security. Punch in a code and get my package rather than having it left outside in front of my house where there is no cameras, or indoors inside of my apartment where anybody could just take it or trip over it even. So it's like, what would you prefer? Your package be left out in the rain, potentially, or go pick it up from an access point? I mean, it's no different than the way grocery stores do grocery pickup here now. It's just a bunch of lockers. Like, we've had this set up for years. It's a whole bunch of lockers outside. You get given a code, you go punch it in, and then it unlocks your locker. And spring has arrived, and 2 dwarves died! Paranoid Android and Dragon Man died of old age! Salutes to you, my friends. Salutes. Chat, can I get a round of beers? Dragon Man had like 12 children in this fort, okay? Dragon Man was a glorious dwarf. Lived a very long, full life and has a huge family of children. We'll go down in legends, I think. That dwarf, that dwarf gets a statue. Paranoid Android, no offense, doesn't. But Dragon Man definitely gets a statue. Let's make a gold statue for Dragon Man. Also, Mommy! Yeah, exactly. That's very apt, right? Not me, Mom! Natural dead, yep. Natural deaths won't cause outrage, no. I mean, dwarves will sometimes mourn. But it's not an unexpected death, so they won't... And trash battery! Oh, no! 3 dwarves were found dead. Have picked up on Crypt Beer? Well, that's great. And Clay's started throwing a tantrum. Oh, no. Shit's excellent. Ooh. Where did Clay go? There you are. Next tribute? It's still coming. Yeah, they're coming. They just haven't dropped it off yet. I'm just concerned about this. I don't think so. Where's Vinsati the second? Oh, there you are. I mean, both of your parents are dead. Both Wave Thrash. Lump's been dead for a while, yeah. Both of your grandparents are dead, so yeah, it's just your brothers and sisters now. I mean, Sparkly's alive, Nervicious is alive, Vuzel's alive, Black Hole's alive, the Scoid's alive, Clay's alive, Peter's alive, Anton Iceland's alive, Axon's alive, Cappy's not, and Crystal's alive. Lump's been dead for a bit. Disorderly conduct against Clay. 2 counts of disorderly conduct against Clay. Let's follow Diamond to see what gets done. It's probably a beat criminal situation, I would assume. Yeah. It's gonna go beat him. Might kill him. Oh, nope. So he went to go beat him, but because he's wearing armor, it was all deflected. Oh, he did punch him in the neck, bruising the muscle. Okay, so he was able to bruise him, but satisfied upon teaching. Spear shaken after being beaten. Sure. Didn't even flinch, I don't think. There you go. A tribute has arrived. Busy start to the year, frankly. You think the system is flawed? Hey, if everybody's wearing armor and nobody has weapons, then beatings don't damage as much, okay? I'm just saying. Also, thanks for those of you who've been lurking. Yes, you gotta love that tasty, tasty barrel filled with elk blood. Absolutely glorious. And something that's and one sandy clay. Yeah, one sandy clay. Wait, Chimp, why are you chained? What is happening? Well, okay. I don't know what Chimp did to get chained, but at least you're satisfied after teaching Spear. I think I need to make some coffins. I'll turn the camera back on when I'm not building underneath where my camera is going to be. So if you're wondering why camera's off, it's by design. Yeah, no, like that's literally the multiple generations of tributes. Yeah. You made a list when the last save pile was posted? The next save is going to be at year 205 specifically, yeah. At which point I'll post a playlist on, oh, it would help if I unpause the game. I'll post a playlist on Reddit, link the save file, recommend that people set their population cap down to 50 and give it a try. I mean, there's part of me that just keeps expecting them to just invade me for making them bring us tributes, but, you know, they haven't yet, so there is that. Okay, so trash batteries going there. I don't really care who goes in what tomb. I'll just make sure that the correct statues are left where they need to be. And the elves have arrived to trade, but little do they know that we're actually quite busy right now. We're dealing with a bunch of dead old dwarves. We just rolled really badly this year. Good evening, Katsu. How are you? Trade, Dwarf, busy. No, we'll definitely trade with them. We'll get like a thing of food or something. And Vim as well. Hello. Yeah, we just lost a couple of longtime dwarves. But like many things, it's inevitable. Took care of bills. Yeah, I need to do taxes. I need to get all of my taxes ready to go pretty soon. Must be stopped with violent force. I mean, what, just natural death? Oh, well, we're waiting for them to store the gold statue, it seems. So this right here is Dragon Man's tomb. Not the biggest one, but well, yes, natural death can be stopped with unnatural death, obviously. How to stop natural death? With blunt force trauma to the forehead. Clearly. Absolutely. The most natural way to stop unnatural, or to stop a natural death, is with blunt force trauma to the forehead. Seems perfectly logical to me. I don't see any problem with this. Damn it, Clay's throwing a tantrum. Let's see what art was drawn. Engraved on this wall is an exceptionally designed image of Dragon Man, the dwarf, and a nice scepter by Sparkly. Dragon Man is raising the nice scepter. The artwork relates to the masterful nice scepter created by the dwarf Dragon Man for the eternal adventure of time in Longdeath in the late spring of 111. And now we're just waiting on that statue, which I could probably just place, probably. Yes. And a door. Why not? We can also put one over here on trash batteries. Let's also do an engraving of trash battery. There we go. Why not? You can also have one. Seems a little mean to not let that dwarf have one. Seems like no crimes were committed. Man, we started the day off with a little bit of adventure mode. We were a goblin poet, and now we're into Longdeath, and the plan for the remainder of the stream is Longdeath for probably another 3.5 hours. And then after Longdeath is finished, we will be playing some Doom the Roguelike. And the reason we'll be playing some Doom the Roguelike is I need footage of Doom the Roguelike. Doesn't need to be a lot of footage, but just some footage of Doom the Roguelike for a big video that I'm working on. So hopefully we all stick around and things stay lively and entertaining, and hopefully we have good chit chats. Stream has been pretty chill so far, but no complaints. Things being chill just means I need to work harder to keep y'all talking. That's all that means. And Wild Pig, thank you very much for checking the channel points and making me take a day off. I probably will work anyway, but thank you very much. Engraved on this wall is a finely designed image of Trash Battery, the Dwarf, by Voozle Voozle. Trash Battery is contemplating. The artwork relates to the withdrawal from society of the dwarf Trash Battery in Longdeath in the early winter of '89. That was almost 100 years ago. I also just realized I should probably swap out the ambient sounds. Let's go to... Let's go to medieval town sounds. Worded like taking a day off from streaming. Doesn't matter if it's legit or not. Tredge. Thanks for sticking around for 42 months. Tredge is one of the OGs of this stream. You know, like you've kind of surpassed the like OG marker in my brain these days. Thanks for continuing to support the channel. And lurk when you do. I don't know how often you do, but thank you. Because frankly, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for mad lads like you. I just had this moment of, did I forget to post on Discord today? I don't think I did. Something's fighting with something. Hopefully it's nothing dangerous. Oh, just buzzards. That's okay. Also, I think Chimp was still in prison after. 42 is indeed a lot of months, yeah. It's almost as long as I've had a sub button. I've had a sub button for 45 months. But if I got a sub button in the first month ever of streaming, I would have had a sub button probably for close to 90 months now. Chat, I know this question isn't relevant to some of you, but what's the longest running subscription you've ever had to a Twitch channel? For me, it's 56 months right now. Although I did subscribe to a Twitch channel on day one way back, where if I'd never dropped it, it would be in the 90s by now. Can you check? Yeah, if you go to your subscriptions tab, it has all the information on all your past subs. You'd say it's 42 months, and you get a pretty sick wizard hat for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a pretty good wizard hat. Like, look at that wizard hat. I want to see what this statue is, which is why I'm waiting for this dwarf to place it. Bell's channel, 36 months. I've been subbed to Bellinaire since day one. Since show one, and I still don't have a name. Bring out your dead. What's this that I'm looking for? No. Is it T? Yes, that's what I was looking for. The gold statue of Dragon Man. This is a superior quality gold statue of Dragon Man. It's a superiorly designed image of Dragon Man, the dwarf, and voice brands, the Iron Shield in gold by the Scoid. She gets stolen. Oh, that's your last name. Okay. Dragon Man is raising voice brands. The artwork relates to the naming of voice brands by the dwarf Dragon Man in Longdeath in the early spring of 51. Hot damn. I mean, it's because you spend so much time here. You earn it, frankly. Here in Ferret Bomb or Tide? Damn. Didn't Ferret Bomb, like, stop streaming for a really long time? I feel like he did. Don't have time to trade with the elves. I wouldn't say it's that old. But definitely there are moments where I'm like, damn, that was 6 months ago. But I wouldn't say that it induces nostalgia. That's not quite accurate. Because he's a late night guy? Yeah. Now that sucks when streamers, you like, leave. A streamer I really enjoyed watching quit streaming, and due to like burnout and general exhaustion and lack of desire to continue, and the desire for more money and better job opportunities had shown themselves, and so they quit. And then they came back, and now that they're back, their stream is completely different to the point where it's like, I don't enjoy this anymore at all. It's like, I still respect you as a person, but man. In the early winter of year 90, the ignited creation attacked the seductions of living at the joyous devil in Spidery Desert. The dwarf Inul, cloistered, led the attack. The defenders were led by the goblin Dang Horror Run, where they're telling a story of a battle that happened in year 90 between the mountain home and the goblin fortress. And then there's me, where it's like, I haven't become a late night guy or anything, but sometimes I will just do late night streams. Oh, wait, what? Oh, you did actually get put in prison. Oh, damn! So you know how Clay was having a lot of problems with being stressed out and anxiety driven? Clay was beaten for the crimes that he committed, but also thrown in prison. And he repented. He's no longer stressed. He felt gratitude remembering a sparring session. We fixed Clay. Yay! 3 tantrums today, too. Fuck yeah. Personally, would as soon as have nature and the great outdoors burned to ashes and converted into a great mining pit. Done. He has the highest regard for loyalty, is affronted by the whole notion of maintaining decorum, and finds sacrifice to be one of the highest ideals. Hates those who wield power over others and thinks that there is something deeply wrong with people that persevere through adversity. Sees no point in holding back complaints and concealing emotions, less extreme after retching in miasma in the year 168. And complains and values good craftsmanship, and doesn't think one way or another about leisure time. Dreams of creating a great work of art in this dream was realized. Is shameless and absolutely unfazed by the thoughts of others. In a constant state of deep internal rage, cracks easily under pressure and almost never feels discouraged. Finds helping others emotionally rewarding and feels a strong need to pay back any favor done for him. Finds humor in most situations and often nervous. Tries to do things correctly each time and has a greedy streak. Prefers to present himself modestly and tends to make a small mess with his own possessions. Is slow to trust others and is somewhat quarrelsome. And is bothered by this since he values friendship. Can often acts with compassion and doesn't feel envious of others. Quick to form negative views about things and can sometimes act without deliberation. Chews his lips when he's nervous and needs alcohol to get through the working day. I wonder how much time you're spending in prison. Oh, no sentence pending. They're coming to release you. It was a beating and imprisonment. And the imprisonment seemed to do it. The beating didn't do anything, but the imprisonment certainly did. Well, he bruised his neck, but I don't know if a brick of clay is lurking, but this is named after a brick of clay from chat. Going to jail is like a spa day? He had a neck massage and a spa day, dude. A neck massage and a spa day. All right, so now we do have one other dwarf who's still depressed. Who's this dwarf. Everything is all piling up. He's restless after being unable to practice some martial art. This dwarf wants to practice some martial art. I'm going to put this dwarf into one of the bear fighters squads, which is the wrestlers squads. So they don't get weapons or armor. I'm going to get them training. You give your dwarves what do you mean by nous as names? So it will say following some guy or the fridge is fighting? Oh, so you give them funny names? Is that what that means? Oh, nouns. Okay. I mean, that seems... I mean, the fridge would be a good nickname for like a really tall, broadly bodied dwarf with a very pale skin. Good work. Dwarf from the north. We call him the fridge. Right next to brick wall and big tall. You've had a few that you used to like watching, but I tried to make partner before affiliate was a thing, and they eventually stopped. When they couldn't get partner and returned to working 9-to-5 jobs. Something that I never fully understood about people and streamers, especially Katsu, are the streamers who insist that they need to make partner to make a living, or they need to make partner to be successful. Like, anybody who's been around this stream for a long time will know that, like, this has been my majority income since, like, 2016, right? I didn't get partnered until, was it 2018? Hold on, let me actually look. When did I get partnered? I'm pretty sure it was 2018. Let me check my email. Hold on, I still have the original acceptance email. Assuming I can find it. Yeah, I can't find it. I'm pretty sure it was 2018. Yes. End of October 2018. Yeah. was when I got partner. So it's like, I don't know. But am I making 150K a year doing this? No one fucking does. No one fucking does. Why bother if you can't make that kind of money? Because you like doing it. I genuinely think that streaming full-time for a living isn't something that it's logical to do to make 150,000 a year. Like, if you're doing this and you want to make 150,000 a year, yeah, fucking quit and go get a 9-to-5 and go work your way up in a job. It's very unlikely that you'll make 150K a year streaming full-time. I make about 24,000 Canadian a year. And that's like technically about 10 grand a year under the poverty line. And I don't have a car. Well, then they shouldn't fucking start in the first place, because like streaming is not something where you can make that amount of money. Like, yes, there are people who do, but it's a very, 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 very small micro point. But what I don't understand are the people who start streaming, try to make partner, fail making partner, and then give up. That's what I don't understand. Because it's like, yes, there are people who do make that kind of money doing this. But the number of the people who make that kind of money doing this are the utmost 1%. Like, I'm in the top 0.8 biggest channels on Twitch, believe it or not. I believe that if you are going into streaming with the goal of making a lot of money, you're going about it the wrong way. If you're going into, and this is why I always tell people this when they're like, Craig, I'm going to start trying to stream. It's like, okay, do it as a hobby. Do not try and do this for a living. Do it as a hobby. Figure out like what you're even capable of pulling off. I learned about click kicking. It's wondrous. Well, I mean, okay, you're getting happy thoughts again from fighting, so that's good. But, you know, at the same time, I know a guy who streams full-time, right? Well, he streams in the evenings. He streams about 6 hours a day, 5 days a week. And he has 2 kids and his wife. His wife works in the medical field. She's a nurse. So she works long hours, right? And he doesn't make a ton of money, but he probably makes close to what I do. And he's a stay-at-home dad. He does the occasional, like, community management gig. But he's a full-time dad during the day, and then in the evenings when his wife is still at work, he streams. And he's been doing it for he's been doing it longer than I have. He's been doing it for like 9 years now. Does he make a ton of money? No, but it fits his needs and it fits his life, and it fits what he needs out of Twitch. I think that's a much better way of doing it. What I don't understand are the people who go into this expecting a lot of money, don't make a lot of money, act surprised when they're not making a lot of money, and then quit before they make partner. That's what I don't understand. It's like, well, why did you start in the first place? You're going about it the wrong way. Yeah, exactly. He's a dad by day and he streams at night. And it's like, that's like the perfect fucking way of doing things. Quite literally. Like, I couldn't think of a better way to go about this industry than just being like, imagine having a full-time dad who just like runs a weird radio station late at night. Like, it's basically this. It's like, that makes perfect sense to me, you know? Like, is he the main form of money? No, but like, of course he sleeps. Yeah, he sleeps while the kids are at school. Come on. He takes the kids he gets up, from what I can tell, his schedule is he takes the kids to school, drops them off at school, comes home, sleeps, wakes up, goes and picks up the kids, is a dad, puts the kids to bed, and then streams. You know? Brings extra money in. And as far as I can tell, his streaming is covering their house payments, so. His wife brings in the majority of the money, but extra money is good. I don't know. I guess for me, streaming is all about expectations. Like, it's perfectly reasonable to do this for a living. You just have to be smart about it and know what you're capable of living off of. And, you know, there's a lot of, like, Yeah, be realistic. There's a lot of like, I don't want to say drama. That's the wrong word. I hear a lot of people talking about passion-driven industries. Like you hear that a lot about in the games industry and programmers and developers and stuff. It's like, oh, it's a passion-driven industry, which basically means you're willing to live off of less money than maybe you could be making in another job. Like I've told people this many times in the past. Like I could probably make more money if I just went back to industrial cleaning. Would I be happy? No. Would I enjoy my days? No. Would I be depressed as fuck? Yes. Would I hate myself? Yes. Is my quality of life better making like 10,000 less a year? Absolutely. Do I get to benefit other people? Yes. Do I get to make cool shit? Fuck yeah. Do I get to like improve other people's workday? Heck yeah. So which is the optimal thing for me? I don't know. For me, the thing that surprises me is when people get into this industry and then get out and act surprised that they have to get out. You know, like I knew somebody pretty recently who was doing great. Dude had like fucking 500 subs. Like he was making way more money than me, but couldn't quite get to the numbers to make partner. And then just dropped it. Like you're doing really well, but you just stop. Like, why? You're doing so fucking well and growing. But you apply once, you get denied. Apply twice, get discouraged. Apply 3 times, bitch, moan, and complain about it on stream for 2 weeks, and then just vanish. This happened recently, and it's like, I look at that and I'm like, what the fuck's wrong with you? Like, straight up, like, what the fuck? Like, that is what discourages you? Come on. Grow a thicker skin. Keep at it. You know, like, I know people like J-Jam Jim who's making fucking money hand over fist. He ain't a partner. You know, I'm doing just fine. I don't have the highest view counts, but I do just fine. Genuinely, I think that having a good quality of life is the highest form of wealth. Wild Peak. Like, you can always make more money. And that's true for literally everybody. Everybody could always be making more money. That's just how money works. You'll always be looking at how you could be making more money. But if you enjoy your day-to-day, that's better than infinite. Like, I'd rather be homeless and happy than wealthy and bored. Frankly, like, it's just, I don't know. I don't know. Weird rant. It was just, it's stuck at the front of my brain, based on what Katsu said. But while I'm babysitting this dwarf, what materials do you like? You like iron, yeah, because I gave you iron stuff in your bedroom. At least this dwarf hasn't tantrum since being put in here, but you're still utterly harrowed by the nightmare that is your tragic life. Although, you are very satisfied and happy with your day-to-day, so maybe you'll improve. Kangaroo is fighting with something. Streamer is going straight into deep thoughts today. My building bylaws there's a bunch of new building bylaws. Oh, Jesus. I just got sent a 34-page document about the bylaws in my buildings. Apparently we're not allowed to store bikes indoors. They have to be stored in the parking area or on our balcony. What? Okay. I'm gonna need to read that later. Cool. It was a ramble. I mean, I don't know. I guess, yeah. I'll just be saying the same things if I keep rambling on the subject, but it's like, I love this industry and I love my job and I love what I get to do. There's a lot of people in this industry that make me shake my head though. And there's a lot of people with expectations about this industry that never fail to amaze me. And there's a lot of people who seem to think that they deserve success, or they should get things that, you know, maybe they haven't worked towards. Like I've seen and listened to and had conversations with people who genuinely believe that they are not getting success that they deserve. I remember having this conversation with somebody during a PAX who quit streaming a while ago and was kind of a dick to me in person. But we were having this conversation about how, you know, they were basically ranting about how they recently got partner and a lot of the support dropped off. And I remember that when they were trying to get partner, when they were chasing it, they were one of those people who put partner push all caps in their title. They pushed that shit really hard, did a lot of networking, and basically were begging for raids. And they were doing a lot of things to try and bring people to their channel from other people's channels. Like they really pushed that very heavily. And the second they got partner, it all dropped off and they tanked down to like 30 average concurrents and weren't able to get above that again. And they were rambling about this at this group event. And I asked them, I'm like, well, what are you doing for community building? And they just said, well, I shouldn't have to do anything for community building. And I'm like, well, what do you mean? And they're like, I'm here and I'm streaming and I'm entertaining. People just decide not to watch anymore. I'm like, okay, well, what are you doing to try and improve the quality of my stream? And they're like, of your stream, or like change the things that you're streaming to keep people interested. And they're like, well, people were interested. Why aren't they interested now? And I'm sitting here and I'm going like, clearly, and I tried to explain this to them, but they didn't quite figure it out. This dwarf is just crawling around in insanity. It's like, well, if something's not working, you need to figure out why it's not working and how you can fix it. And I think a lot of people miss that. You know, like when I was still doing a lot of RimWorld, something I started to notice is that less people were tuning in every month. It was noticeable. Like it was like 70 average people one month, 60, 55, and I think I got down to like the low 50s. At which point I was like, you know what, this I'm not enjoying this game. I'm not enjoying the community. I'm not enjoying the process of streaming this. I'm going to change this up. And it took a summer, and it was a rough summer, but now we have this. You know, it took a year for me to make the transition from that type of game over to the roguelikes, to the dwarf forts, to all that stuff. It took a whole year to make it into this directory and to get to a point where I was basically back where I was previously. And that's where we're at now, numbers-wise. We're basically back to where I was when I got partnered. And it took a long time, and I'm hoping it keeps up. I really hope that, like, DF and the roguelike stuff doesn't drop off, because that would be really sad if it did. There's no storage downstairs for you, and it's not safe to park outside. Oh, that sucks. We do have pretty good underground storage in this building, and a locked parking lot, and everybody has their own bike rack on their parking stalls. No, I mean, it's the problem with any passion-driven industry where money is tight, right? Like, that's genuinely the problem with every single industry like that. Any kind of arts industry is going to have the same problem. Any kind, I mean, hold on. You worked at a university for a while, and you had to talk with the profs who had to deal with students arguing that they deserved higher grades. And it was rough when parents called profs to continue. Of course, parents are going to call because they're the ones paying for the union, assuming you're from a place where you have to pay for university. That's fucked up. Humans have arrived to trade. Did they? Okay, no sign of the outpost or not the royal treasurer, Zaki. But yeah, no, there certainly, I think, there is a type of person who believes that they are entitled to things that they do not deserve necessarily. You know, like, one thing that I try really hard about my stream is to not act entitled, you know? Like, if you want to go watch somebody else, go watch somebody else. If you want to support somebody else financially and not me, do that. If you don't want to support anything in any way, don't. I try my best to come across that way, you know? But like the reality of it is, in order for me to make a living, I have to act entitled. It kind of sucks. Like trying to not guilt people into giving me money is a tough thing. No one triggered investments today? I don't think so, no. Redbeard, how we doing? It's good to see you, man. Also, you guys can chuck channel points at making me go away if you want. We're 2% to the next day off. Let's go. When you're having a financially decent month, I was going to, like, definitely don't support people financially if you can't afford it. Looks like, yeah, no Zaki. The second caravan has arrived. Still no Zaki. I mean, I've had people tell me in the past that I'm one of the only streamers they've ever watched where I will actively tell people to not subscribe if you can't afford it. Do you know that crafts degrade over time? Hello, Maz. What's up? How's things? You'd like to start streaming some, but your computer isn't fully equipped to have and you only have average internet? When did I decide I was ready? When I had a computer and internet. Doesn't matter how good your computer is. Doesn't matter. No, they degrade over time. Yeah, they're just like clothing, apparently. Because I have some damaged crowns. My mayor's been reelected and nobody is surprised. But I have to assemble some ballista arrows. Oh, you heard cats? Yeah, definitely crafts. I mean, cats degrade over time with age. It's just like any pet, man. Come on. I mean, here's the thing. You want to know the real secret about streaming? As long as you have 1 MB up and 1 down, you can stream at 480p. And I know somebody who streams on a netbook. You can stream on a really shitty computer. You just have to accept it's going to be crappy quality. And stream at the quality for the game that you're playing. If you're streaming Dwarf Fortress or roguelikes, you don't need a good computer. You don't need a high-end rig to stream. Like, and that's something that like a lot of people don't understand. Another thing that you don't need is you don't need fucking overlays. You don't need a camera. You don't need anything to stream. Literally, all you need is a half-decent computer and enough internet to watch a stream. That's all that you need. It's very easy to stream. Maybe I mumbled it. So it might not be you, Aqua. It might be me. And the motivation to do it? Nah, I mean, that's part of it. I mean, for me, the reason I started way back... What? The Mayor Cheers Jamie has discovered the use of practice models in surgery. Does that mean that they invented those plastic bodies where you can like pull all of the itty bitty bits on the inside out? You know, like those full-size body puzzles where you can like pull the lungs out? You know what I'm talking? Did any of you guys play with those when you were younger? Because I certainly fucking did. I certainly fucking did. That is awesome. Fucking rad, dudes. The idea that people stay interested in the same type of entertainment forever is strange to you. You're right. Some of those streamers are incredibly entitled. I think, okay, so there's a specific personality that I've met many times in streaming. And this is a person who started streaming, okay, while in high school. Or like that age, before they ever had any kind of traditional job experience. Got big, and then it trails off. And they get really depressed and really loud on Twitter and quit loudly. I've seen it happen a lot. To the point where I can't count the number of times I've seen that exact situation happen. Where someone will stream, they'll get really big, and then they'll crash, and they'll quit. And I've seen it happen so many times. I've seen it happen like a dozen times with the Warframe drops. I know a few channels that got like 4 million views in their first month ever streaming because they were partnered Warframe streamers that were big in the Warframe community. And they just went boom and just exploded completely. And no one gives a shit about their streams because they're just there for the drops. So they get like 20,000 concurrent viewers for their first month of streaming and then 50 the next month. I guess kind of the advantage for me is I've never been big. I've never had that basis for comparison. I don't know what that's like. The real finesse is getting 1/10 of those people to stick around. Not even like 1/100th of those people to stick around, you know? I mean, the fact that, you know, I was looking at my stats. This time 3 years ago, I had about 100 subscribers. About 100 people that were subbed to this channel 3 years ago. That's almost a 300% increase. We're at, what, 242? Granted, about 60 of those are gifted. But still. I actually mean over-entitled? I mean, we're all entitled to something. We're all entitled to live, right? That's the one thing that we really get. We all have the right to live. But yes, you are correct. I would tend to agree with that. Right, Beard? Is that you have no excuses? I mean, here's the thing. Vim, streaming can be the best hobby you've ever had, but it can also ruin video games for you forever. Just do not treat it like a job, because it will very quickly become a job. I need my broker to go trade real quick. We're entitled to die. There you go. We are entitled to die. That's something we are entitled to. It's so brave. I mean, it's beautiful if you think about it. The only thing that's guaranteed in life is death. It's true. I don't know. I don't think of that as a dark thing to say either, because like, I'm very accepting of death. The happiest people are those that embrace death, I think. A wise man once said. I wouldn't say taxes are guaranteed. But we are not entitled to taxes. How's that? We are expected to pay taxes, but that is different from being entitled to taxes. Bezos is trying his best not to. Katsu. Any endeavor can become wearisome. You worked with many geeks who used to love computer tech and then after years of getting paid, hated the thing they loved. Here's the thing. I still love video games. I still very much love the video games industry. But you know what I've learned to hate over the years? Large portions of the wider Twitch community. There's a lot of immaturity and a lot of obnoxiousness in the wider Twitch community. There's a lot of people that I don't like or don't want to ever associate with again because they accept a certain kind of person into their fold that I don't want anything to do with. They acknowledge a certain kind of person that... So what you're saying is we ballin', Maz. We ballin'. Bunch of ballers. But yeah, no, it's very much a we have I don't know why we're on this subject, troll potato, but can we stop? It's not really relevant. It's just kind of goofy. As we bowling? We balling? I guess. We balling. See, that time I got it right. Well, no, but we're a stream that's discussing Wii bowling. It's the only kind of bowling in theory I could do, as I do actually have a copy of Wii Sports and a Wii in this apartment. Is it plugged in or set up? No. I also have a TV, but the TV is not upstairs. You loved Wii bowling when you still had Wii? Wii. I don't own a Wii U. I used to own a Wii U, but my ex took it when she moved out. Because every single one of the games, except for the Bayonetta 1 and 2 package, were my ex's, and I just was like, you know what, you can just have these, because I'm never going to play any of them. And I never would have. And I'd already beaten Bayonetta 2, so didn't really care to go back or anything, so she just took it. Because she would actually use it, whereas I wouldn't. I wouldn't. Probably nothing. Because I find that dwarves don't tend to think anything about the natural death of family members. Yeah, they don't really have anything to think about it. How old are you? 86 years old? Yeah, it doesn't seem to think about it too much. No real thoughts on the subject. Your Wii U feels like it has a lot of dust on the pad. Yeah, I knew I would never use it, so I told my ex if she wanted it, she could take it. Otherwise, I would probably sell it, which I probably would have. I got the Wii U pretty cheap though. It was about $200. Brand new. Came with 2 games. It's winter and the only water that can be accessed is outside. When a dwarf picks it up, it instantly freezes and gets dropped. You're gonna need to dig down to the cavern layers if you need water. Unless you have, is there aquifers on your map? Because you could dig down to an aquifer. The time for moving money? Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna go prep my lunch stop. I'm not actually gonna grab lunch, but I'm just gonna go prep it so I don't have to stab myself with cold ass insulin. I'll be back in a sec. All right, lunch stuff prepped. Cool. Just roofing something will stop it from freezing, or it should. Although bridges don't act as roofs. Yeah, I would dig down to the first cavern lair, and then try and make a well when winter ends. I mean, you shouldn't need water for your dwarves specifically, so there is that. Because you should have alcohol for your poor dwarves. You shouldn't be making them drink water. That would be a crime. So you should be good in that regard. Yeah, go assemble that iron arrow. You got 56 pets? Well, that's the pet's problem. I mean, it won't thaw if you build a roof over it. You had to build the roof beforehand. But yeah, I would dig down to the cavern lair. The dwarves' thoughts are improving, though. Like, that's the thing. You are improving. The humans are leaving. I guess Zaki, yeah, Zaki must be dead. I wonder how old Zaki was. Because humans don't live super long in DF, just like in real life. Is today's Belinair's day off or something? Belinair just kind of vanished today. I know he said that he had a bad migraine the other day. Like, I keep on checking to go open his stream up, but he's not on. I don't know if Cooler knows. He might. He did have traces of gray in his hair, yeah. Flecks of gray. So he was getting up there in age. Didn't strike me as a super elderly description, though. Actually, let's see something. Nope, still the royal treasurer of the Confederacy of Sport. Unless that's a different Zaki. Actually, hold on. I'm still waiting for the Count of Longdeath to pass away, because I'm kind of hoping we'll get another Baron. Kind of hoping. There we go. We're getting to those ballista arrows now. Yeah, Zaki Estrani, I think. Yeah, Estrani. There you go. So no, he's still alive, at least according to this. Unless this is out of date. That's him? Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know. I mean, maybe I upset him because I did accidentally press enter at the wrong time and not request anything from merchants one year. But I seem to recall he came the year after, so perhaps I upset him? You want to know what's a hilariously funny bundle? You can, or rather, I mean, maybe you check it out. I don't know, but there's a cybersecurity bundle on Humble, and it's, hey, do you really want to buy all of Avast? It's literally just there's an Avast antivirus premium security multi-device. Who uses Avast? That's silly. Actually, there's a pretty good game assets bundle, which has a bunch of things that could be pretty cool for making roguelikes as well in it. Which, uh-oh, this dwarf sound says he's gonna snap. Which has some pretty cool stuff in it, which is benefiting JDRF, so that's kind of cool. Yeah, if he's dead, he would be out of date, because no one would have told us that he died, yeah. And it's not like we have any poets or anybody bringing us many rumors, so that makes things a little trickier. You know, it's kind of funny. I was thinking a lot last night while I was editing about something that somebody said yesterday, which was I was talking about Roguelike Radio because I've been re-listening to a lot of old episodes of Roguelike Radio because I missed that show. And somebody mentioned that, oh, well, you know, Roguelike Radio, perhaps I could produce episodes for them because apparently they're looking for people. And I'm sitting here going like, what if instead of that, I just try and make my YouTube channel as known in that space? Instead of like, you know, trying to be that, we just I try and do things on the YouTube channel that make the YouTube channel known, maybe not as well known, but known at like stuff like Roguelike Radio. I said like way too many times in that sentence. Bull terriers look fucking strange, dude. Cute, but strange. Really good for killing small ground vermin in real life. Or your chickens, whatever you prefer. There we go. Mayor is happy. Excellent. I'm assuming Clay is still happy. Yep. Man. This must have really changed your outlook on life, going to prison, Clay. Aw, your only friend is dead, Clay. That sucks. Clay's only friend is dead, chat. Well, I mean, Roguelike Radio is fucking cool, but I don't know. I feel like I can do pretty cool shit on my own. And I should just keep trying to do that. The only convention I really want to go to after pandemic shit is done is I would like to try and go to the first roguelike celebration that happens in person. Whenever they do those in person again, I would like to go to one of those. Because I think that would be really interesting for me. And I could, once I've gone to one of those, I can probably set up enough interesting connections that I'm sure I could do some cool conversations. But I guess on kind of winding back around to the previous topic that we had about income and like expectancies and stuff, and it's just thank you guys for supporting me enough so that I can do this full time, even though I'm probably lower budget than a lot of people who do this. Thanks for funding my small budget. Get back to what you were doing, Dwarf. Slaughtering a lot of critters. How many more do I have to slaughter? Not many, but I already got more wolverines in my traps. It's the, like, annual animal culling. Oh, meat's been on the menu for a while. I'm actually pretty sure that I've got more meat than anything else. I got more meats than anyone could reasonably consume. Fresh meat, sure. I mean, all meat in DF goes into barrels. It's probably all covered in various preservatives. Thanks for hanging out, Aqua. Thanks for the inputs and the combos. Feels wonder after learning about biting. I too would feel wonder if I learned about biting, because I wonder who the fuck was teaching me about biting and why the fuck I was learning about biting. Both of those seem like very odd things to learn about. You once tried to make an adventurer dwarf that was a grandmaster, biter, and dodger. Did not work. So you would just jump. You would jump in, bite the guy, dance, and then jump out, basically. He dodged into a river. So here's the thing. You should have gone with Grandmaster, Biter, and Dodger, and a novice swimmer. If you had novice swimmer, you would have survived a lot longer. Swimming is always a important task, in my opinion. Always a fairly important task. Even in real life, yeah. Well, although it's less likely that you will dodge into a river in real life than in Dwarf Fort. What were you... I've got an important question. What were you trying to bite when you dodged into a river, Zane? What were you attempting to bite? It's even less likely. I don't know. I'm pretty good at biting my food, Narkoski. Does that count as a biting? You were trying to bite a shopkeeper. Why were you trying to bite a shopkeeper? Also, why was said shopkeeper next to a river? Both of these are very important questions, in my opinion. It only trains biting if someone else is holding it and moving around. Okay. I remember picking a fight with the first thing I saw and losing to the nearby river. Gotcha. I remember one of the first times I ever played adventure mode, and I was just wandering. It's like, you found a river. And I was like, oh, and I remembered I had some points in swimming, and so I jumped into the river to try and swim across it, and it rolled over to winter, and it froze, and well, insta-dead. I'd been playing for about 30 seconds. I made it like, I don't know, 2 or 3 screens to the left. And I was like, well, let's go back to Fortress mode. It was a good time. I'll put it that way. It was a very fun, good time. Dwarficide? Dwarfsicle. Yes. Well, I don't think I was a dwarf. I want to say I was a hamster man, actually. A hamster. I was Ham Toro, basically. Unlike today, where I was a goblin. Because who doesn't want to be a hamster person with a sword? That's just hilarious. It was the only good thing about Terra Online. It is autumn. Stone, it's that time of year. Time to dual wield them pew-pews. But, J-Stank, you seem new here. Welcome to the stream. The annual tributes have arrived from Basti Pime and Nulan Abo. Looks like those small tribute friends have gotten way ahead. I'm actually going to do a thing real quick. You might consider this kind of cruel, but I got a bunch of cages with animals in them. I don't need the cages nor the animals, so I'm gonna smash them. I mean, after September, I should be able to get a vaccine for this damn virus, so I'd love to be woken up in September. That sounds great. Estimations are currently stating that I'll get a vaccination by August, which fucking blows. But, you know, they're going by age, not risks. And also, we did well versus the rest of our country, so we're one of the lower priority provinces because we did well. So our prize is you get to stay inside longer. The 21st of September? Absolutely, I'm from Canada. Why the fuck would I be from some other low-life country? Jesus. I'm from the best country. Stone, did you get it? That's the question. I don't know if Stone's even here, so. You're extremely low priority? Mm-hmm. Well, I'm at risk, so I can't go outside. It's fucking fun. I'm going to assume that Stone is AFK. Just gonna screenshot these and move on. Here comes the horsey. The, over there on the right. So much stuff. They even brought us a bronze toy hammer. How nice of them. And a Nicolas Cage. I mean, a nickel cage. And an eagle. Got her done for Stone. Those crazy humans bringing us so much crap. But yes, I am from Canada. And that appears to be our prize for doing well. And during the initial periods of don't go outside, As we get to wait longer for vaccines. Fucking rocks. I've just kind of like accepted at this point that I'm not really going to be allowed to go back to normal until next year. It's funny, every time I mention it to my mom, she always gets like weirdly upset with me. It's like, well, I mean, what do you expect me to do? Just be happy that I don't get to go back to normal until next year? I'm pissed. Shit sucks. I basically have until snowy season before I have to stop constructing. Dwarves don't really like working in the snow. They don't mind the rain, but they don't like the snow. It's just another year before I really get to go do things again. Tis fun. $267. You missed tributes. We got the fall tributes stone. I may be going crazy, but I feel like the frame rate got better. Can they come from inside the caverns? No. You was getting a drink? Ah, I got you. Yeah, it's just up on Discord. Didn't want to just hang around and wait, so. Small bits of construction at a time. It was supposed to be 2 weeks. It was supposed to be 2 weeks to flatten the curve. It's like a joke at this point. It's like fucking a 3-hour tour. Just a 2-week lockdown, you know. I can't remember how long our initial lockdown was supposed to be, because we went into lockdown
Cheese for everyone.
Cheese. Yes, we went into lockdown in it was March 24th, 2020, I think. Freskin, what's up? How you doing? You missed adventure mode today. You're late. How dare? How dare ye be so late? Damn it. What's up, man? How's things? Lord Floof, no! You were doing so well. Ooh. You started a fist fight, too. And, of course, everybody in the military immediately goes and tattles on you. The dwarves arrive to trade. To pay the Twitch and Patreon bills? I mean, I understand, but like... Let's see what Diamond does. Well, I hope you had a good day at work. I was gonna say, technically, you've already paid the Patreon bills, but you'll need to pay it next year, because that's a yearly bill. That's not too bad, I don't think. At least for this stream. I'm gonna go beat a criminal. This might be the end of Lord Floof. Ooh, never mind, he can still walk. How badly did you hit him? Basically just like wrecked his hand. Ooh. Ugh. And his leg is bruised. Okay, his upper body is bruised. Okay, so bruises and destroyed his hand. And the liaison from the mountain homes arrives. I'm Ficod, your liaison from the mountain homes. Let's discuss your situation. There's much to share. We've updated your maps. What requests do you have of our merchants? All of the wood. Let's discuss what we're willing to offer you for your craft store ship. We've finalized the export agreement. And I look forward to our meeting next year. Our fortunes rise and fall together. I wonder if they had any information about the humans. Nope, they didn't. Mount Home's still at war. Good to know nothing changes. Especially war. There we go. War. War never changes. This is true. I can't export ballista arrows, but that's totally fine. Random passing thought. Even though keeping dwarves happy is important, sometimes letting the tavern/guard devolve into a massive fistfight of angry dwarves is really funny. Oh, no, it's totally great. There's a reason why the motto of Dwarf Fortress is losing is fun. Because it's always amazing just watching your Rube Goldberg machine of things collapse. Like, if you play Dwarf Fortress, you have to get some entertainment out of just, like, watching things just fall over. Like, at least for me, it's impossible for me to play Dwarf Fortress and not get amused by calamity. Like, I don't know anybody who plays Dwarf Fortress who doesn't get amused by the calamities that happen. Resentful after getting into an argument. Okay, but satisfied at work. And you got to speak with Lord Floof, who's currently content after putting on a finely crafted item, but guilty after being able to rest. Native silver blocks, you say? The humans make blocks out of dumb things that shouldn't be made into blocks because they don't know what they're looking at. They don't know the value of it, frankly. Gold? Pfft, should just make that into blocks, say the humans. These crowns will all just be given as gifts, I think. Also, you're going to make gold walls? You know, Cooler, you do make a very valid point. Need gold blocks to make gold walls. Ah, you are new here, J-Stank. You are new here, aren't you? Here, we do not become uncomfortable or upset around those who appear unusual or live differently from ourselves, as they would say in Dwarfort. Elves are fine most of the time. You have received a reimbursement of billing error. Due to the billing error overcharge that were placed on February 28th, 2021. To deposit, C, return initmobility.nl.com. Seems legitimate. I should definitely give them. Okay, you know what's even better? It comes from an email, right? Not a email to text, right? The email contact that comes from is sus. It's literally it's sus and then a bunch of numbers. URL.org. But it's literally SUS. Literally, it's SUS. That's fucking funny. Delete. Go away. I mean, they try their best. We have to respect that, Troll Potato. Email is sus. I mean, email was literally fucking sus. That's funny. That is very, very funny. Gmail was the imposter. It was Google all along. Accept these bone crowns as gifts from us to you. That's very funny to me. I feel like the structural integrity of walls made out of golden blocks wouldn't be great. Not that I know much about structural integrity, but... You never seem to get scam emails? This was a text. This wasn't an email. This was a text message. But my phone's spam filter caught it. And so it was identified as a suspicious email. It's like suspicious email or suspicious text was received. Because you can send emails from an email to a phone number. And it will send it as an SMS. Pretty good way of like sending out mass spam. And if they set it up incorrectly, it comes in not as a Google number, which is generally what you want to do, but it comes in as an email. I mean, I didn't until this year, or rather, until 2020. I never got any suspicious texts, and then 2020 happened, and it's like all of the scammers just are like, well, we're all unemployed now, so fucking let's just start spamming. But that's just really funny that the email was literally SUS. I like to think that the scammer who set that email chain up set it up literally as SUS as like an in-joke because they thought it was funny and figured, yes, well, we'll just disguise this and they'll still see a number, not SUS. I like to think that's why it says sus. It's just a scammer with a sense of humor who thinks they're really funny. Shit's my jam right here. How's Floofy doing? Not great, man. Not great. Well, I mean, those people are trying to, you know, get phone numbers and personal information and all kinds of fun, scammy shit. Gotta do what you gotta do to make a living, but you ain't getting it from me. However, if you try and get it from me, I will forward you to one Kitboga, because I do have friends who work for Kitboga. So if you be too obvious about it, I will definitely report you to the scam baiters. Because that's not hard to do. Work for who? Kitboga. Kitboga is a streamer here on Twitch.television who also does a lot of YouTube stuff. But his whole thing is he phones scammers and fucks with them. And a friend of mine is one of his mods. So I will occasionally, if I get a scammer that's particularly amusing to me, I will reach out and be like, "Oi, friend. Call these scammers." And Kitboga is responsible for the highest view count I've ever had. Because Kitboga rated me with 15,000 people once. And my biggest claim to fame was that day because T-Pain rated Kitboga that day. So T-Pain rated Kitboga and a bunch of other big people rated Kitboga. And then Kitboga rated me, which means T-Pain has about 4 hours worth of tickets in my butt. It's one of my biggest claims to fame, is that T-Pain has seen my stream. You don't know who that is? Trying to think. Chat, what's a good T-Pain song to recommend to somebody who's never heard of T-Pain? Would it be too much to recommend I'm on a Boat? Also, that's technically a Lonely Island song, not technically a T-Pain song. He's a rapper. A pretty successful rapper from the mid-2000s. Damn, sniped by the streamer. I'm on a boat, motherfucker, take a look at me. But he's pretty well known for comedy raps that he did alongside of other people. And he's I wouldn't say I like his music, but I do think that he is funny and rather amusing. Are we winning? We're always winning. Well, assuming I've gotten at least one subscriber on the day, I'm winning. And if I've made enough money that I've hit my daily minimum, I'm definitely winning. I have not hit my daily minimum yet, so I'm not winning yet. But I'm working my way towards winning. Hopefully by the end of the stream I will be winning. I need like 5 more resubs to be winning. Or like $15. I mean, game, we're always winning. Because as long as the fort is alive and not all of the dwarves are dead, we're winning. Because we're just trying to get to year 1005. And we are on year 175. And as time is passing, we are winning. Because we are slowly getting closer to our goal. Although in my defense, you were being pretty open on the question of, are we winning? Got to be a little bit more specific than just the general. Are we winning? Because I don't know. Are we? The bigger question is, chat, are you winning? And if so, what are you winning at? Sleep because that's what's gonna happen. I mean, sleep's gotta happen eventually. Are they running around? Or walking? Or skipping? Or jumping? Or tripping? Or flopping? The ones that we're watching are training. This one is certainly running to go sleep. This one is leading a cow to slaughter it. Or a calf, rather. You're winning at getting distracted from the tribute paperwork? I mean, you don't have to do the tribute paperwork. Although I will admit, you have helped make the tributes a little bit more, significantly more eventful. Because instead of just, oh, another tribute, yay, it's, oh, stone, we have to screenshot this, take it down. Let's deal with all of these bodies. Why is there suddenly miasma there for a few seconds? What? Also, why is there a hole in the ground there? That's not okay. Huh. I should, place some floor grates right there, but I don't have any, so let's say silver grate. Good wins for Eskins and Diamond. All of the animals that are being found starved to death have been sitting in cages for a long time that I've forgotten about, so. It sucks that they're being found starved to death, but it just kind of comes with the territory. Uh, 12. That's my guess. Stone. Chat, how many white stork water skins? White stork leather water skins, do you think that? Darn, Stone said it. 7. This is cruel. Slaughtering animals is cruel? Well then, go watch another stream if you think it's cruel. We have to kill the population so they don't starve to death on our fields. It's part of life. They have been raised for the purpose of being our meals. Oh, the starving to death? I mean... Nah. If that's gonna bother you, then I can't help you. Dwarf Fortress players, murder all of the elves! Also, Dwarf Fortress players, don't let that sheep starve to death! We use every part. Not the ones that have rotted in the basement. We're virtual, but the pain is real. Fucking pansies. What? This miasma, on the other hand, though, that's an actual problem. Well, Never mind. We still certainly did not get this. What's rotten in the kitchen? It's literally just that. There's a rotten roast at the top of it. Well, hopefully, now that we're dealing with this, the problem won't happen again. I don't think so. I mean, we still definitely grow strawberries, but that many? I don't know. Let's find out. How many drinks do we have? Yeah, I mean, we still have 1 billion strawberry wine. Less strawberry wine. I don't have 4,000 of it anymore. Plenty of artichoke wine, rye beer, split beer, barley wine, finger mullet beer, foxtail mullet beer, artichoke wine, beetroot wine, potato wine, cranberry wine, bilberry wine, blueberry wine, blackberry wine, raspberry wine, dwarven ale, prickleberry wine, syrup brew, fisherberry wine, apricot wine, plum wine, dwarven wine, and strawberry wine. In this fortress, I'd be surprised if we got a dragon. I would be totally cool with getting a dragon. That would be fun. I would definitely train it, but I don't know. We'll find out. There's dragons in this world. One just needs to decide to come to Longdeath and grace us with its presence. Just need to get rid of that miasma. Have I ever seen a dragon? Have you not watched all of my Today in Dwarf Fortress videos? I've had 3 different dragons appear in my time playing Dwarf Fortress. I've never seen a cave dragon. I've seen... No, I was talking to Axon on that question, not you. Because Axon was one of those people who really likes those. I thought that you'd seen all of them, but guess not. Yeah, no, I've seen 3 dragons in thousands of hours. I know very few people who've seen cave dragons. I've never even seen them in Legends. Like, they just don't spawn. I've seen hydras, I've seen bronze colossi, I've seen dragons, I've seen titans, I've seen many forgotten beasts. I've seen many were creatures, including the mythical werewolf, which is bizarre to see. Just die already? You should bring more effective weapons and stop, like, punching them in the lip. How many animals am I down to? 33. Much better. Jeez. Yeah, every couple of years I have to do, like, a mass animal culling like this. Every couple of years. What do you mean by cheat? Because you can use DF hack, which gives you access to all kinds of cheats. What do you mean? Like, is it possible to just spawn in creatures? With DF hack, yeah. Not in vanilla. There are many strategies that I consider cheating. But I guess it depends on what you consider cheating. 31. Let's give chat a chance to guess, though, Stone, instead of just spoiling it. Chat, how many iron anvils do you think the Council of Men has bestowed upon Longdeath? 13, says Vin. Lord Floof is throwing a tantrum. 5. $756. Not gonna like try and dash your hopes, but might be a little bit high there. Quick, audio, pick a number. Any number. Just type in a number. Doesn't matter. Just type in a number. And then once audio guesses, Stone, tell us how many anvils. 50. There you go. Done. That's a number. I said 30, so. How you doing today, audio? Lord Floof. Lord Floof tantrumed and killed Crystal. Now that's just not acceptable. Weren't you related to Crystal? Wasn't that your cousin? Yeah, you just killed your cousin. Is Lord Floof permanently unhappy? Nothing is permanent in Dwarf Fortress, but he's very unhappy, that's for sure. We may have to remove Lord Floof. He's causing more damage now than good, and the overall population of the fort is down. Down to 33 dwarves. It's not acceptable. 63, really? Damn. Good guess, audio. Lord Floof gets a beating. Really? You don't get a prison sentence for murder. Just a beating. What happened? I mean, I was at 36. You didn't miss anything. We've been hovering between like 34 and 40 for a couple of months now, or a couple of years now in game, about 20 years, ever since the mountain home stopped giving us migrants. We've been going up and down and up and down and up and down. All right, Lord Floof, sending you to channeled dens. You and all of your pet sheep. But we can't have murderers running around. You just need to pay closer attention, but we've been in like the mid-30s ever since the mountain home stopped sending us migrants. But yeah, now we're at 32 dwarves. But yeah, no, the population's been dwindling. I think actually what I'm going to need to do, going to need to assign a new messenger. Let's assign Eternal as our new messenger. A game with no rewards. And we are going to find some dwarves that have significant others. That I can request. I want married couples so that they have kids. It's the only way that we can increase our population now. We could also try and bring Redbeard back, but I don't see that as particularly good. There we go. We are requesting more workers. But yeah, no, the population has been around this ever since the migrant wave stops. Migrant waves stopped. I have no idea. I don't think so, Otatoto. I don't think there is any strict, like, they stop after this number of years, but faction turmoil can cause it. If the mountain home has no migrants to send you, they'll stop. And the mountain home's been locked in combat for over 100 years, so that's probably got something to do with it. Dwarf Fortress doesn't have capital punishment. Just straight up, it doesn't. If your hammerer is too strong, he can just kill dwarves by beating them to death, but that's not capital punishment. There is no death sentence in Dwarf Fortress, thank God. Thank the gods there is none, because I would hate that. Fucking hate death sentences. In real life and in video games. It's the reason I don't play Prison Architect, is because the first thing they make you do in Prison Architect is electrocute somebody to death. I mean, I don't want to get into the semantics of that, Zane, because that's going to be a really pleasant conversation. And I don't genuinely believe that you want to have such conversations. Yeah, how many? Too many. That's so many. 34 is my guess. Poop management in Prison Architect put you off? I wanted to like that game. It is the tutorial in Prison Architect. It's literally just, hey, put this person in the electric chair. Now pull it. The OG Prison Tycoons, the ugly-ass 3D games that were for sale for $1 in every single London Drugs? Yes. Did I enjoy it? Eh. No, not really. They're also older than Prison Architect. Way older. They made like 5 of them. None of them were any good. It was in that era of, hey, put Tycoon at the end of names, and you may have skipped the tutorial. Or you played it before the tutorial was put in, because I don't think that was put in until 1.0. Because I played it a little bit pre 1.0, and I enjoyed it back then. But I was like, they've added a lot. Let's see what they've added. And then it's like, yeah, kill this person. And I was like, what? Come on. Fuck you, game. No. Because Transport Tycoon is excellent. Made by the same guy. Roller Coaster Tycoon and Transport Tycoon. There's a few, like, train games that are not titled Tycoon that are good. But Transport Tycoon and then later on Open Transport Tycoon are the only good ones. I mean, there was no hospital type. Well, there was probably a hospital tycoon. I never played a hospital tycoon, but there was. I mean, now I think about 2 Point Hospital. Theme Hospital was pretty good back in the day. Theme Hospital. It wasn't called Hospital Tycoon, but Theme Hospital was good. Although if you want a good hospital tycoon, play Project Hospital. Zoo Tycoon was never good. It's funny. I actually got into an argument to a point with somebody where they stopped watching my stream over that fucking game because they they would come into my channel every single day and just say, just your daily reminder that Zoo Tycoon is good. I'm like, but it's not though. Game Dev Tycoon is a bad game that is a lot of fun. That's a very dumb, boring game that is a lot of fun. It's a very bad, fun game. It was really fun for like a day. And then it's like, well, this is actually, I'm done. Never playing this again. I think I played Game Dev Tycoon for like 9 hours straight. And then never touched it again. I never will touch it again. No, totally. I mean, it was certainly an interesting little thing. Actually, the Software Inc., I think was the name of it. Software Inc. Yeah, Software Inc. is a much better Game Dev Tycoon. Wonder if that ever came out of early access, did it? No, it's still in early access? No shit, eh? Last released was in 2020. Oh, well, they ruined that game for me. I'm like, I wonder what the most recent patch for Software Inc. was. And I just see this. I'm like, well, all right. Never want to play that game ever again. Cool, you just ruined Software Inc. for me. I hate. Hate, 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 hate. Hate, 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 hate conveyor belts. Fuck that shit. Never want to play any of that shit. Never, ever, ever, ever. I never played any of the story games, like Game Dev Story. All I know is that that studio has a billion games that are all thing story, and they're all almost identical. And if you've played them, if you've played one, you've played them all. Just like Total War, if you've played one, you've played them all, and you don't need to play any of the other ones, and the rest are all boring. That was just a shot at Total War. Please don't take that one too seriously. But I realize there's a lot of like minute differences between the series. Please don't hurt me. But no, the Game Dev Story and the other story games by that same studio are all virtually identical. Because I played Hotel Story. And Game Dev Story looks identical. I hate conveyor belt management games. I don't find them even remotely fun. You add conveyor belt management and I'm out. I immediately lose interest the second you give me conveyor belts. It is the anti-fun for me. I know many people who like it, but it's just not for me. It is the polar opposite of fun for me. You want to get even more disappointed by Tycoon games? Go back and play the ones that you have nostalgia for. Because the ones that you have nostalgia for will also disappoint you. It's one of those types of games where they age better in your memory than they actually do. But Project Hospital is a pretty cool hospital simulator. And it's fun building the hospitals. The only Tycoon games that don't disappoint me that I've gone back to are Roller Coaster Tycoon 2, and coincidentally Open Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 is good. It holds up. Theme Hospital might. I don't know. I was never a fan of Theme Hospital. I just know that other people liked it. Transport Tycoon and Open Transport Tycoon hold up. And that's pretty much it in my experience. Just trying to get all this garbage cleaned out. It's snowing. How we doing, Cyrolac? Before you go into your permalurk. I need to go get lunch pretty soon. It's 3 p.m. Time's flown by. Partially because I did a bunch of adventure mode today. Well, here's the thing. Well, it's not necessarily the older the Tycoon game. The thing was, there was a point where Roller Coaster Tycoon and like Sid Meier's Railroads were some of the biggest games on PC. There was a point, right? It was in the early 2000s. SimCity, Sid Meier's Railroads, Roller Coaster Tycoon, Transport Tycoon were some of the biggest games in the world at the time. I turn my squad on so that they can kill those buzzards. And that was a pretty good amount of time that lasted. Well, that's sad. Cheers, Jamie feels love remembering talking with her mother. Actually, hold on. Who was your mother, Jamie? The daughter of Axon and Lump. Feels love remembering talking with mother, and mother has been dead for years. Oh, shit. Cheers, Jamie is romantically involved with somebody. Swoos. My mayor has a lover. Would you look at that? Well, that's cute. But, but yeah, anyway, those games are, were some of the biggest games in the world, and there was a very long period of time there where the way you make a game sell is you just call it Tycoon. So there's a bajillion bad Tycoon games. And a lot of the ones that we have nostalgia for just aren't good. Like Zoo Tycoon 1, not a good game. Zoo Tycoon 2, not a good game. The good ones is a very small number of good ones from back then. And also a lot of the ones that come out now are still bad. Like I would argue Planet Coaster is bad. Building roller coasters in that game is very satisfying, but that game is bad. Sim Ant, same, but Sim Ant is not good. I have nostalgia for Sim Golf as well. But Sim Golf is also one of the ones that doesn't age super hot. But anyway, you were confused about the ethics described for the entirety of the Raws for each Civ. Partially why elves are insulted by the trading item as wood. As killing plants is labeled as unthinkable to them. Dwarves have capital punishment listed for slavery and treason and oath-breaking and murder of a fellow citizen. But there must be more nuance than that. There is a lot more nuance than that. That's just the way civs can generate, but civs can change if you have different races in the civs, right? So depending on who's in charge of the civ. Also, most of those ethics are only relevant for legends and background simulation and not actually relevant for fortress mode. So that's up to the player at that point. It didn't take very long. Audio. Actually, you know what's a great Tycoon game? Parkitect's a great Tycoon game. Parkitect is an excellent Tycoon game. If you want a Tycoon game to go play that feels like an old Tycoon game that's good, Parkitect is fucking excellent. Like, straight up, Parkitect is better than Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 by a long shot. It's as good as 2 and does a lot of things differently. Another game that's out now that people apparently really love, and I remember enjoying the first one, is Mad Games Tycoon 2. Apparently a lot of people really like this game. I'll bet you this game's good, because the first one was pretty fucking fun. It was like just a game dev tycoon style game, but with a lot more under the hood and a lot more construction. This game's probably pretty good, because the first one was good. I wonder if their tower game ever got good. Mad Tower Tycoon? I remember enjoying it a bit, but it needing something. But yeah, Parkitect is great. Absolutely great. I mean, it's got the overwhelmingly positive tag now, so fuck yeah to that. Fuck yeah to that. I wonder if Snowtopia is any good. Haven't tried it. Oh, Transport Fever 2. That's another game that's very good. Very, very, very good. But I don't know. Hey, Tenox, what's up? May you ask how you distribute labors? After a few migrant waves, your population hits 60 to 70 dwarves, and you don't know what to do with them. All of a sudden, many of your dwarves get bad thoughts because they cannot practice crafting. make a crafters guild. Because dwarves can't practice crafting, but you can't infinitely be making crafts. So what you can do is like distribute your labors amongst dwarves and things that they need to do. But if you make them a guild, then they can just go hang out in the guild, and dwarves that know the skill for that guild. So let's just say you make a leatherworking guild. Dwarves that know the skill for that guild will go and hang out in that guild, and dwarves that know the skill will do demonstrations, which is the equivalent of, say, leatherworking without actually having to work with leather. Or, say, it's a stone crafting guild, then someone could, just make sure you open it up to non-members of the guild. And then dwarves that don't have that skill or would like to go do that skill can go hang out in there and will practice. By default, they are set to locked. I have a video on YouTube about how to do that. How to build and manage guilds. But yeah, make a guild would be my advice to that. As far as how do I manage labors, the way I manage labors is quite different to most players. A lot of players are a lot more specific about how they manage labors. Speaking of, actually. Oh shit, I did get 2 new merchants. I have 2 unnamed dwarves. A married couple of merchants that decided to show up. One's 155. How old's the other one? They're both 155. It's pretty simple, yeah. Everything in Dwarf Fortress is pretty simple. The thing is, there's a billion pretty simple things. So when you start like stacking all of those pretty simple things together, then it gets kind of complicated. Also, if anybody would like to be one of the old merchants that just showed up to join the fortress, let me know, because there are 2 of them. So we do have 2 more dwarves again. Hopefully they have some children. Cade is telling a story of how in the year 27, the Staney Hall was formed in Longdeath. You'll take one, Zane? Sure, Vim. You can have the other one. Just keep in mind, these are not permanent residents, so they can't join the military, and they will not live for very long, because they are very old. Within the last season was frustrated after being kept from alcohol for too long. You should go get yourself some alcohol, Dwarf. He is 155 years old, born on the 18th of Hematite in the year 20. His eyes are cobalt, and his very large irises. He has very large irises. His sideburns are clean-shaven, and his very long mustache is arranged in double braids. He personally finds blind honesty foolish, and finds maintaining decorum silly and fumbling waste of time. Finds eloquence and artful speech off-putting, and doesn't really value merrymaking. Dreams of mastering his skill. He's generally unhindered by the thoughts of others concerning his actions. He is easily moved to mercy, and is quick to anger. Tends to ask others for help with difficult decisions, and tends to hang on to grievances. And he is often nervous and often feels discouraged. But yeah, no, Tenox, one thing that I can very heavily recommend to a newer player is do not overproduce stuff, because all it'll do is damage your frame rate. And if you are heavily producing stuff to keep dwarves happy, make sure that you are giving away or trading away the excess. So do not stockpile and hoard things. I know that it can be quite difficult and very tempting and easy to just stockpile and over hoard stuff, but get rid of stuff. Also, this particular fortress that I'm playing on is not representative of the average dwarf fortress experience, because this is a Millennium fort. The whole goal of this fortress is to keep it alive for 1,000 years. We are on year 175, midwinter. We're about to hit year 176, which means we have been in this particular fort for 170 years in-game, which is let's say about 167 years longer than your average fortress lasts. You're trying to use workshop profiles to automate everything? Sounds like you're doing real well. Are you using a manager, or are you actually using like workshop profiles? Or like, are you trying to do like give and take stockpiles and stuff? I do stuff pretty manually in this fortress because that's all of my gameplay. Straight up. Zane, let's see what we can give you as a job to do. You like iron, sard, giant moose, antler, giant earthworm tooth, giant brown recluse spider silk, helms, and giant Kia for their intelligence. You fucking monster. You like giant Kia. You like the scariest, worst creatures in the land. You horrible, horrible dwarf. All right, let's give you all the basic jobs, the hauling jobs. We'll give you engineering And I will give you furnace operating, metal crafting, and blacksmithing. Also, you like helms, so I will give you armoring. Not that I make a lot of helms. I will give you leatherworking, boneworking, weaving, clothes making, pottery, and glazing. As for other tasks, I can give you all the basic healthcare because everybody needs that, and butchery, sure. And then Vim. Vim ML says society flourishes when lawbreakers are punished. He is ambivalent after putting on a truly splendid item. He is married. Oh, never mind. You two are not married. For some reason, I thought you two were married. Oh. You didn't bring your significant other. You horrible person. He is married to Lorbam Gear Pattern and is a faithful worshipper of Uno. He is 155 years old, born on the 11th of Granite in the year 20. His short sideburns are neatly combed, and his very long mustache is neatly combed. His medium-length beard is arranged in double braids, and his very long hair is arranged in double braids. I gotta do a thing real quick. Missions. No. I'd swear that I had a request workers job already. They didn't bring all the dwarves that I asked for. That's fine. He likes steel, red, pyro, apricot wood, coaty leather, and crutches, and the sight of the aquamarine quintessence. He is a perfectionist and does not easily hate or develop negative feelings. Dreams of mastering a skill. Personally finds maintaining decorum a silly and fumbling waste of time. He likes ideas and abstractions over practical applications and is not particularly interested in what others think of him. He is a friendly individual and is not given to flights of fancy, prefers to present himself modestly, and does not find obligations confining, is conflicted by this as he believes the importance of the rule of law. He isn't particularly ambitious and doesn't mind a little tumult and discord in day-to-day loving. We'll give you mechanics, pump operating, a few crafts. I give you strand extraction, not that we'll actually need that. Furnace operating, you don't need fishing. Tanning and farming. And stone detailing. Managers with orders and conditions. Gotcha. Yeah, I don't really mess around with that stuff because my brain doesn't work for if-then statements. You give me an if-then statement and my brain just drips out of my ear almost immediately. It's the most fucking confusing thing you could possibly give me in a video game. So I don't ever mess around with that shit. But I know how it works. I just don't. Uh-oh. Who's depressed? Clay is depressed again. Well, let's get him training again. Fucking Clay. On and off. On again and off again. 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 Pack, what up? It's good to see you. How we doing? I'm doing all right. It's basically lunchtime, so I'm about to hop up and grab me some lunch. We're into midwinter. If you want to build a self-sustaining fortress, get your ass underground and lock the door. Self-sustaining fortresses are pretty easy to complete. But it is impossible to keep a fully self-sustaining fortress unless you're willing to go to war with the mountain home, which I wouldn't recommend because it's not possible to have a fortress that completely plays itself, because if you have a fortress that entirely plays itself, you will still have to manually trade. So unless you have like a script or something to automatically trade, there will be some input that is required from the player regardless of how much you're able to get done. Which isn't exactly the ideal. Oh, also, I don't know if anybody knows, but we fixed, or Blug fixed the text adventures room, so you can now play Zork on Discord again if you want. So if for some reason you want to play Zork, you can play Zork on my Discord in the text adventures room. Yeah, yes, you too can go get eaten by a Gru. What a happy dwarf. Anton is such a happy dwarf. Getting taught by one of his older brothers. Zork 1, Zork 2, and Zork 3 are all playable in my Discord, as well as some other games. But Zork is currently the one that's available. Right here, in the text adventures room. Just type in a little symbol like that and do that. Plan for this evening after Dwarfs is we're gonna play Doom the Roguelike, because I need footage of it for editing. And tomorrow in the evening we will be playing Loop Hero. That game that is gonna do very, very, very well because everybody is promoting it. So, and because I've had enough people say, "Streamer, you might like Loop Hero," I'm gonna stream some Loop Hero. We'll do an evening of it. And another one gets eaten by a Gru, and another one gets eaten by a Gru, and another one's gone, and another one's gone, and another one gets eaten by a Gru. Doom RL later in this stream. Yes, that is exactly what I said. Yeah, Man vs. Game was playing it, which is shocking to me because it's not a Man vs. Game in the slightest. Or at least it doesn't strike me as a Man vs. Game, but yes, it has a demo. But that isn't a selling point for games at all. Demos don't sell games. But if a game is going to sell well, they certainly help. Jupiter Hell had a demo, and from what I can tell, it didn't really help them much. If anything, it made it worse. Which kind of sucks. But I guess certain types of games lend themselves to demos really well and others don't. Zork in the text adventures room. Is where Zork is playable on my Discord. I don't know. I guess I just wish that Rift Wizard or something would sell as well as Loop Hero. Because Loop Hero looks like a neat game, don't get me wrong. But it kind of fits into those weird, it's a weird enough game that I look at it and I go, man, like, why doesn't one of these other weird games that I really like do well? Like, it's a neat shtick and it's got a good art style. I like it. I'll probably enjoy it. But I really wish that, I don't know, other games that I like that are weird would do as well as that. Because I feel like all of the weird games that I like are too weird, I guess. Rift Wizard? Oh, you should play Rift. Rift Wizard is weird because it's a turn-based game. It's a turn-based arcade game, basically. Like, it's if you enjoy the idea of Gauntlet, but want a much better balanced game, or the classic Gauntlet, actually. If you enjoy the concepts of classic Gauntlet, you would really, like Rift Wizard. Also, if you really like very, 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 very deep magic systems with a shiz ton of combos, then I can recommend Rift Wizard. It's also hard as fucking nails. Hard as hell. Super fucking hard game, but it's so cool. That game does so many neat things. Yeah, then I easily recommend Rift Wizard. I just wish I was better at it. That's my biggest issue with Rift Wizard, is that I'm bad at it. Holy shit, it's your birthday?
Feels birthday man.
Can I get a big ol' round of happy birthdays for Cyclone? Yo, Cyclone, races start soonish. Ish. Are you psyched? I can't wait for us to light up the Speedy Zoom Zooms room again. I'm looking forward to that shit, man. Check, can I get a big round of beers for Cyclone? Woo! Being one of the OGs of this channel who's stuck around. Cheers, dude. Thanks for continuing to support this channel on Twitch and Patreon and everything that you've done for me over the years. Hello, Defcom. Good name. I like that one. It's a good username. And you also used to be rich. It's kind of funny, based on the average wage in the US, Hobo actually figured out how much tickets would be worth and how much channel points would be worth. It's a lot of money. In the words of Ice Cube, 'twas a good day. Did you do anything special for your birthday, Cyclone? I mean, I know you got to see Cards Go Fast recently. Might have a few drinks. Well, hopefully you can play some games with somebody and have a good birthday. Listen to some good music or something. Yeah, it's Master of Puppets was released 35 years ago today. You know what we haven't really talked about? The bug fixing patch? Was there anything? I saw that it came out. I didn't really read the patch notes though, Be like, was there anything interesting in there? Does anybody else bathe in the irony of fucking Metallica getting muted on Twitch? What's in the quality of life stuff? Decreased rarity of cell-based weapons. What do you mean by cell-based? Notable changes include on-screen enemy weapon information. Ooh. Orb healing buffs, especially on higher difficulties. Also, spring has arrived, so if anybody else is going to die of old age, it's right now. More common orange and cell weapons. I don't know what it means by cell weapons. That's bad. Oh, you can now bind everything to the keypad. I guess like UI chain for UI and stuff. That's cool. A lot of fixes. Good shit. I hope Epion takes a nap. The annual tributes have arrived. I don't think we lost anybody. I don't think so, no. 4 dwarves have died today, though. 1 murder, and we had to expel somebody, and 3 notable dwarves died of old age. It's probably what he means. Yeah, it's probably the electronic-based weapons. I mean, the exotic plasma weapons are pretty rare. If maybe that's what he means. But yeah, no, Metallica getting muted on Twitch is the fucking longest coming burn I've ever seen. Very funny. Cheers, Stone. Clay, have you sorted your brain out? Ah, you'll sort it out soon enough. We're going to do this. I think this is going to be the flat roof. This is going to be where the roof flattens off up top. Because I need to actually finish this at some point. Danks has been found dead. We did lose somebody. Died peacefully in the corner of the fortress. Goodbye, Danks. You were a good dwarf. Man. Man. Hey, Sloth, what up, dude? Investment not found. No place item in tomb. What? They really don't want to store this dwarfen coffin. Also, thank you very much to everybody who's new here. If you are new to this stream, by the way, we stream a whole lot of Dwarf Fort here. It's usually about... Dwarf Fortress is usually about 5 days a week. We do a combination of adventure and fortress mode. We streamed some adventure earlier today, and we're playing fortress now. On the weekends, we play one-shot fortresses. So on Saturdays, we play single one-off fortresses. On the 10th, we're going to play the Mario overhaul mod because that's Mario Day, which is a couple versions old, hasn't been updated, but it's okay. We can install a legacy version of DF, and there you go. You're coming to do it. Well, good work, Apostle. Getting it done. Cheers, Jamie's ended a mandate. All right. I can now export ballista arrows, not that I ever will. So that's how that goes. And on the rest of the time, we also play traditional roguelikes and games that I'm just plain interested in. So we've been playing War Sim Realm of Eslona, which is a text-based kingdom management game. We've been playing... we're going to play Loop Hero tomorrow in the evening after some Dwarfs. We've been playing... Well, recently I've been playing Alien Zarel, and we're going to play some Doom the Roguelike in a little bit tonight. Keeping things interesting. So that's the kind of stuff that we do here, if you're new here, because I've seen some new names. So cheers to everybody for hanging out. But I'm going to stand up for a minute and take a break after this dwarf puts this corpse into the coffin, because I need 5 minutes to go prep for lunch and grab my sandwich, because I'm actually like an hour late for lunch. I normally eat lunch earlier, but just wasn't hungry today. I don't know. Just wasn't hungry. So I'm going to go and grab me food. Grab me foodstuffs. The elves have arrived once again to trade. Dwarf, why have you slowed down so much? You get tired all of a sudden. Danks was a good dwarf. He didn't stay here too long, unfortunately. All right, well, this dwarf is done. I'm going to let you guys watch those dwarves train. I will be back in a couple of minutes. If you happen to have the Patreon sound commands, now's a good time to use them to entertain the chat. And if you would be so kind, if I could get a round of beers in the chat, we'll just credit this towards Cyclone's birthday round of beers, because I think he needs them. And wish Cyclone a happy birthday. I'll be back in a couple minutes.
This is my favorite roguelike on the Citadel. Cheese for everyone!
Hero Quest is the best game ever made, and anyone who says otherwise is wrong.
That feeling when your hell yeah gets debated by bacon. That's a sentence that, like, no one except for people who spend a lot of time in this stream would get. I returned with a sandwich. It was a very quick break. The kobold is Tarn Adams speaking kobold. Actually, hold on. I should trade with these elves real quick. I really should. Yeah, we are eating Sam, and they're definitely a witch. The sandwich of the day is a avocado, roast grilled onions, lettuce, hummus, and cucumber, and cheese.
Cheese for everyone!
I've never eaten the Witch of the Sams, so I wouldn't know. Or rather, I've never eaten a Witch of the West, only Witch of the Sams. This is a weird sentence. Oh shit, I just realized. The elves are not covered with, This is a very obscure statement. The elves are not covered with, featherwood yolks. Or featherwood egg yolks, rather. They're not. This one is weirder? Why is it weird? It's covered in healthy things. You just don't eat particularly healthy sandwiches very often. Grilled onions are delicious, and delicious on sandwiches. Hummus is delicious, and delicious on sandwiches. Avocado is delicious, and delicious on sandwiches. Lettuce is delicious, and delicious on sandwiches. And cheese, also delicious. Also delicious on sandwiches. But it does have more variety than yesterday. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, what do you normally eat on a sandwich, Axon? Well, how's that any different? I put tomatoes on my sandwiches all the time. I put condiments on my sandwiches all the time. This case, I have hummus, so I'm using hummus because it's just what's in my fridge. Been doing it for years. As far as streaming this game goes. I can actually say that now. There's like at least a dozen of us. You just got to do it one thing at a time. Play the beginner's guide, which is up on the wiki, and do everything it says step by step. It's not as bad as it looks. I need to pour more coffee though. Streams it occasionally. By occasionally, you mean once every 3 years. Yeah, he's not a DF streamer. People give him the award of being the biggest DF streamer, but he didn't even play the most recent major release. Or the one before that, even. I think he hasn't played a major release since version 12. That's all Krug Smash does. I think Krugs did one video once of CDDA, but Krugs just plays with DF. Off stream, off his YouTube channel, he also plays Noida and some other things, but Krug Smash is a good friend. Very heavy supporter of my channel, too. Every time I increase my patronage to Krug Smash's Patreon, he doubles it on mine, and it's not fair. One of these days, I will be giving him more money on Patreon than he's giving on me, but I can't afford that right now. It's really funny when people ask me in my YouTube videos comments, they're like, have you heard of Krug Smash? I'm like, have you read the, credits of this YouTube video? Clearly you didn't. But, yeah, no, I stream a lot of Dwarf Fortress. I also stream a lot of traditional roguelikes. I stream DF about 5 to 6 days a week, give or take. We play a little bit of adventure mode, a little bit of fortress mode, and I also stream Legends sometimes. It takes a little bit of effort, but it's not the easiest thing to do. Excuse me, by the way. Wow. Avocado, please. And yeah, that's what we do over here. If you want to see how much DF I stream, you can go to my YouTube channel, which is right there. And then if I were to open my own YouTube channel, right, and go to my YouTube channel, and then scroll up and down, there is, let's see, Dwarfort, 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 Dwarf, 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 Dwarf. Also, most Dwarf, literally the programmer of Dwarf. So there's all that. A lot of Dwarf. Oh my god. Don't you just love it when people just mansplain to a legendary programmer how he could speed up his dwarves? I love it when people do that. I've got a brand new follower. Brand new follower just for me. Oh, thank you. I see them. I don't shout them out loudly, but I do see them. That's gonna be read? I ain't gonna read it. Why the fuck would I read that? Tarn knows exactly what he needs to do to improve frames in Dwarf Fortress, right? But you also need to realize that Dwarf Fortress was designed for computers from 2006. You want to feel that I am very smart? Yeah, well. I don't respond to comments like that because there's two types of commenters that two types of shitty comments I get from programmers. The first one is, here's an extremely detailed description of stuff that Tarn gets in feedback all the time on how you can improve frames for Dwarf Fortress. I'm not a programmer, so I can't give a legitimate response to them, but I know for a fact Tarn probably is well aware of them. The second type of comments from programmers that I don't respond to are the ones who are just like, well, if he wants to improve, like speed up programming for the game, you should just hire 20 programmers. Just hire 20 programmers. It's like, well, no, because it would take 2 years to explain it. Also, Tarn would need to completely change his workflow, and it would probably kill his passion for the game because go to the most recent Tarn Adams interview I did and sort by most recent. You'll find it if you really want to go read it. It's like, sure, having a team of people would probably speed things up, but it would take like 2 years to actually speed things up, and it would need to completely change the workflow of the game. And the thing to me that's the most important for Dwarf Fortress is that the creator doesn't get bored of it, because if he gets bored of it, then the game stops. And I don't want that to happen. If you fixed the bugs, it would run better, dummy. I mean, most of the issues with Dwarf Fortress frames is player caused. I mean, here's the thing, right? Yes. But then again, he's making the Steam version, right? Which is going to have nice pixel art. But it's still going to be Dwarf Fortress in that it's still going to try and crash when you generate worlds. It's still going to have frame rate problems. It's still going to, like, City Skylines is another good example of a game that if you push the game to its limits, it will fall over, and it will let you do that, and that's part of the beauty of it. The game doesn't have to stop if he gets bored of it, though. Not that I want him to get bored. You just hope that when he does, he open sources it. Here's the thing, right? There is many reasons why you shouldn't open source a game. And Tarn is well aware of those many reasons. However, there are portions of the game that Tarn has said he's going to open source and plans to. I think the world generation stuff is some of the stuff he plans to open source, or at least release the source code for, so other people can fuck with it, regardless of whether or not it's the official releases. I very much hope he doesn't open source it. It's already multiplayer. There's 4 different mods that make it playable in multiplayer. If you really want that, you don't. But if you really want that, you can go play it in multiplayer. I wouldn't recommend it, but you can. Clay named his spear. What does that name mean? It's a weird combination of words. Playful charmed the ever-seeing trenches. Nice. Fancy spear. Most people have no idea of the depth of the modding community for DF. Because it's all hidden on forums where you have to have an account for 24 hours before you can post. So, not fully, no. I think, you know, what would be much more valuable, in my opinion, not Dwarf Fortress being open source, but I think something like Ultima Ratio Regum getting open source would be much more valuable to the wider community. But most people also haven't heard of Ultima Ratio Regum, so there you go. But parts of Dwarf Fortress getting open source would be really cool. But it's fucking obnoxious to me when I see people informing me through comments intended for Tarn that, oh, here's how to make this game run well, because that's not how things work. Let's make 100 leather cloaks. Power through some of my leather. Make my leather workers happy. It's like Dwarf Fortress is in an art museum. It's two men's life's work. Zach and Tarn, it's their life's work. It's the thing that it's their livelihood. It's the thing that they've worked on for the last 20 years, basically. And you should let them keep that. The second it's open sourced, it loses that. Dwarf Fortress started development in 2003 and was publicly released in 2006. Or rather, the initial ideas for the code base were built in 2003. It's also older than Roblox. Oh shit, I have more chicks. Bunch of chicks were born. I'm just seeing chicks running around everywhere, so. There you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Chicks. Dwarf Fortress, this is my favorite through line about Dwarf Fortress that I always love to talk about, which is Dwarf Fortress inspired Infiniminer, or at least Infiniminer's building systems. Minecraft, I mean, I will not put any Fs in chat for Roblox because Roblox is one of the worst fucking creations and abominations in the existence of the video game industry currently. So I won't F in chat for Roblox. Fuck Roblox. I hope it burns. Anyway, but Dwarf Fortress is the reason for Infiniminer existing. Minecraft was an Infiniminer clone. The original, and there's people who state that I'm wrong here, but here I'll prove to you that I'm right. If you go back and research what Fortnite was intended to be initially, Fortnite was in development for 7 years before it was officially released. Fortnite was initially prototyped and designed as a Minecraft clone. It was originally supposed to be a open world survival crafty thing, and they were showing demos of it at E3. And the very early demos of it were a Minecraft type deal where you go to place a crafting bench and you design those weird grid-like walls and you would build a base and survive against the elements. Later on, they turned it into a more tower defense thing with Fortnite Save the World, which was a pseudo spin-off version of that original survival crafty game, which they never finished, which then became Fortnite Battle Royale, which we all know is one of the biggest games in the world. So, basically, this game is the reason Fortnite exists. But if you go back real far and look at what the write-ups on Fortnite were from, like, 2013, you'll read stories about how it was a open-world survival crafting game originally, which they couldn't make fun. Like most open-world survival crafting games. Yeah, that's weird. You want to know what my favorite comment? Infuriated Igloo. That's a great name. Infuriated Igloo. One of my favorite comments I saw in the Dwarf Fortress forums on Steam. So the Steam forums for Dwarf Fortress. That's the sentence I would say. Is this game isn't out yet, but there's a review from 2011. Who the fuck reviews such an unfinished game? And it was a genuine statement. Like, this is fucking ridiculous. Such early preview coverage, and there's a full fucking review of it from 2011 in the New York Times, which is true. There is a New York Times review of Dwarf Fortress from 2011, around the same time it was put into an art museum. Anyway, I got a good laugh out of that because I thought that was really fucking funny. Real fucking funny. And I still do think that that's really fucking funny. Was on their second birthday. That's the deepest way of calling somebody 12 I've seen in a minute. Dumb child. Watch furnace operating demonstration. Aw. We've reached summer.
This is madness!
Madness? Startled streamer. Hobo, you're just in time for us to switch games in like 15 minutes. What's up, Hobo? How you doing? We're gonna play some Doom. RL. Yeah. We'll play some Doom the roguelike. For a video that I'm working on. A very, very, very long video. A full-length movie, even. Although it's funny, because, like, it's going to fit right in with all my other uploads. All my uploads are, like, at minimum an hour and a half to YouTube. And I'm going to upload an hour and a half long video, except I actually am going to edit every single fucking minute of it. Doom RL, yes. Doom, the roguelike. Or Doom real life, whatever you prefer. We also, we had an adventurer earlier today. We went on a little adventure, and we rode our giant jaguar around. We were a goblin poet. We wrote much poetry. It was a good time. We wrote much poetry, and we told many stories. Make leather cloak. Look at all of those beautiful leather cloaks. Let's let those dwarves go and grab a new set of clothing, potentially. I'd like you to go grab a new cloak. Not very articulate poet, no. Unfortunately wasn't the clearest of speaker, and sometimes stumbled on his words, which ruined many a good poem. However, we did write some pretty passable poetry. Although, It Must Have Been Cats was definitely the best name for a poem that we wrote. Because you know what? It must have been cats, chat. It definitely must have been cats. Bunch of pussies, frankly. No, cats, not giant jaguar. Come on, please. Let's not rewrite history. My neighbors are moving in above me and they're stomping real loud. I really hope that like they're only loud while they're moving. If they keep being loud going forward, it's going to get real annoying. Also sucks. Thanks for lurking all day today, by the way. Cheers. Today's been kind of chill in most regards. Chill in the number of people watching. Chill in revenue. Chill in every way. But thanks for taking time to watch. The dog people just leave? I mean, I was talking about it. They moved out, and like the next day new people move in. Like they moved out, the dog people moved out like a week ago now. They moved out, I think it was like on the 20th they were moving out. And new people moved in started moving in on the 1st. That's how that works. Start smacking the ceiling? Nah, I mean, if I really, really, really want to upset my neighbors, if I really, really, really want to upset the neighbors, I put on a good record with some real good pumpy bass and crank the fuck the neighbors button. I have 1.5 meter tall speakers, 2 of them. So if I really want to upset the neighbors, I can really upset the neighbors. It's very rare that I need to do that, but if we get a royal treasurer. Oh shit, Demonoid grew up. She is 12 years old, likes rose gold, praise opal, muscle shell, the color dark olive, cabinets, and yaks for their shaggy hair. And she is corpulent. Well, in that case, we'll give you other jobs, hauling, we'll give you mechanics. Let's give you, well, you like muscle shells, so we'll give you fish dissection and cleaning. You liked gems, so I'll give you the jewelry jobs, stone crafting, weaving, that. Although that last one was a mistake, that's fine. Don't have anything for it anyway. Let's give you wood cutting. Good luck. Go get stuff to do, Doors. I fucked this up. Well, it's okay, though. I can fix it. I can do the rest of them faster. That's a lot of socks. It's because I had a couple dwarves die. There we go. That's what I needed to do. It's a lot of clothing that needs to be traded. That'll upset them. I mean, it wasn't a Urist. It was we were a goblin poet earlier, to be clear. A goblin that was part of an elven faction, which is why we had a giant jaguar. But, I mean, I could play some, like... I don't really have any poetry I could play loudly. I do have a record of spoken word, which I got from my parents. I have some pretty obnoxious musicals that my grandmother had on record that I was given for free by my family. They're pretty awful. Not a fan of them at all. Definitely something a grandmother would listen to. Bless her soul, but that shit's annoying. As you can tell, I'm not much of a musicals guy. Rick rolling them super loud. Speaking of, the Rick Roll 45 hasn't arrived yet. I'm starting to wonder. Never did get any updates from UPS, which is how the person shipped it. Still waiting on that. That is a lot of clothing. That dwarf lived here for over 100 years, though, so yeah, they have a lot of clothes. Full set of clothes at least every 2 years. Could just grab a video of a friend of mine reading Edgar Allan Poe. That could be fun. But yeah, unless there's major repairs that need to be done in the apartment, like, people can move in and move out pretty quick from apartment buildings. At least in my building, generally when people move out, someone new moves in within the week. Although people don't move in and move out of this building for very frequently. They tend to, like, move in and then stay. Speaking of, actually, this has nothing really to do with anything, but what's winning the Patreon vote? I haven't looked since the first. I'm assuming it's still the same thing, but... So for those of you who don't know, once every month on my Patreon, at any tier, I post a list of 3 games, and you guys select one. Currently, Dungeon Mans is winning. So we're going to have to do some Stabby Mans. Guess I get to go back and re-listen to the old Dungeon Mans episode. That'll be fun. No migrants? Well, at least nothing's changed. God, that's so much clothing. We lost so many dwarves of old age recently. Look at all of the bedrooms getting cleaned out. Good God. It looks like they're done hauling stuff. Cool. Let's trade. Iron, bismuth, billen black, brass. Sure. And trade with the other... Wait, what? Is the other faction not unpacked yet? Or did they leave? Bunch of weirdos? Fuck it, we'll just give them the rest of this. I will take a gem. Gave those dwarves a break from training, and we're going to send them back. But yeah. We're on year 176. So we started... What was it? 174? Yeah, 174 was when we started. Early summer. Been pretty good. Year and 3/4-ish? Not bad. For 171 years of Fortress. We're almost halfway to Archcrystal. Which, for reference, Archcrystal took 6 years to get to 460 years. 6 years. So if we can do that in, like, under a year, that's pretty good. You think the word column is ugly? Really? I think the word schedule is ugly. Always tripped me up when I was younger in spelling things because I couldn't figure out how to spell schedule consistently for some reason. Always had a really hard time with that. Like a bunch of leather vests. You prefer a semicolon? All right, chat. Today's been a chill stream, but it's going to continue to be chill, but we're going to switch games. It's time for us to save. We're going to jump down to Do Morale. My pop cap is set to 50, but I haven't gotten migrant waves from my mountain home in about 50 years. So I would have another 20 dwarves running around, but instead I have to manage it at lower. So yeah, I've set my pop cap low. It's by design, so I don't get invaded. Yeah, I think the word thou is pretty ugly. Not gonna lie. Histories of gluttony and determination. All right. We're going to switch games for the remainder of stream. We're going to play some Doom the Roguelike. If you're specifically for Dwarf Fortress stuff, I hope you stick around. But there's a few people streaming DF today, so I'm sure you can find someone else to watch. But we're going to switch over to some Doom the Roguelike, which is a thing that I need footage of for a video that I'm working on. So we're going to go do that. I will warn you, I am horrible at DRL.